Setting a record is one thing. Setting one that has lasted almost 75 years is almost unbelievable. Almost. To this day, Dennis Korinek remains the state's six-man career scoring leader, accumulating 821 points from 1947 to 1950 at Ulysses High School. All of that scoring helped lead the Trojans to back-to-back undefeated seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, a 2023 inductee into the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, Dennis Korinek.
I hope you can hear me. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great honor. Thank you for the applause. Thank you very much. Being inducted into the Nebraska School Sports Hall of Fame is a tremendous honor. The many great athletes, coaches, officials, and contributors who make up the Hall of Fame have set the standard for the sport's accomplishment and recognition. I am truly humbled to be named a part of the Hall of Fame class of 2023. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame for continuing to recognize and preserve the history and accomplishments of the Nebraska High School athletes, coaches, officials, and contributors. This historic legacy of sports performance and achievements is priceless. Thank you, Sue Wilcoxon and Mike Rasmussen, and to all the members of the Hall of Fame Foundation Committee. And finally, I would like to thank three very special important people for their tremendous dedication to getting me across the line. And at 90 years old, I can finally tell them I really made it. My family, especially my daughters, Denise, Kim, always believed in my high school athletic accomplishments were worthy of consideration by the Hall of Fame committee. Denise and Kim, along with Roger Lillydahl, a football player I coached at Wahoo High School, old number 45, and his brother Rich, worked tirelessly to help me achieve this award of a lifetime. Thank you for that effort. So once again, I'd like to say a final, heartfelt thank you, and I am grateful and honored to be included in the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023. I would like to thank you. But now listen, I'm going to go off this record a little bit. I'm going to say this, that I played six-man football for Ulysses High School. And at that time, people here probably do not have any idea. There was a Class A, Class B. We were a small school. Well, that small school wasn't very small when it came to football. I could name you probably 5 or 6 boys that came out of the Ulysses area that played for the University of Nebraska and have done a damn good job. Every one of them. And the David City area too. Every one of them did a tremendous job. It makes me proud to be a Cornhusker.
I'm serious about coaches. I love that. I learned to persevere and push through hard times because of you, and I thank you for that.
I know.
I went to medical school, as did Roger, and that's a tough road for a farm kid. He didn't know how to study very well, but the perseverance that I learned from my parents on the farm and from this guy has helped me my whole life, so thank you.
You're more than welcome. God bless you. My pleasure.
A whistle in his mouth. Russell Holtorf, they come across, Russell Holtorf is headed right toward me. Coach blows the whistle and Russell continues forward, knocks me flat on my ass. Right? I'm pissed, really pissed. You're a little slow with the whistle, buddy. And so a couple plays later, run offense, and we went through block tackle and Russell Holtorf was there. You had not blown the whistle yet. So I nailed him head on, knocked him flat on his ass, laid on top of him, not laid on top of him, nailed on top of him. I says, you pull, it's Charles, you pull this shit again, I'll break your leg. And what do you suppose I got to do? Lily Doll, 10 laps. No shit, right?
Yep, and I'm going to tell you the end of the story, end of practice. Guess what? We started with 30-yard sprints on the whistle. Then it went to 20-yard sprints on the whistle. Then we went to 10 yards on the whistle. Then we went to 5 yards on the whistle. But you had to be in your stance all the way through. This was after all the practice. And then guess what? Going up the hill to the high school to shower, the pads were off of them. All they had on was their pants and their shoes because they were beat. And this was the end of practice for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday was rest, and Friday was play your heart out. Yep, that's
And
it.
we celebrated Friday night and Saturday morning and Sunday.
And Monday, they really had to run because I knew what they were doing. Police chief, he told me everything that you guys were doing. Yep.
You did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's the way life was.
It was a good life.
It was a good
It
life.
still is.
Go out and see every one of my
We
players.
drove out to a farm.
And also sat at the breakfast table with their dad and their mom and talked to them. Yep. Every one of the varsity players the first 3 or 4 years. Yep. And then after, if it was on Saturday, I would turn around and rush down to the little stadium that Lincoln has. I think it's Memorial Stadium. And
Still there.
Coach Graff was on the other line, and I heard every one of them. I'll get you, and I'll. And then of course this all traces back to the middle of the halftime and the middle of the third quarter when these guys they come off the field, and I'd say, hey guy, how's the guy along that you have to beat? How is he doing? He's tired. I know he's tired. So go get him. And then it was a piece of cake all the way through. Yep.
So,
every
you made me think of one more story. I was telling my grandkid this. So, when I was a senior, he was talking about this earlier, we were undefeated, and we were playing Ralston. It was halftime, and they had 28-0. And he said to the first team, which included Roger and I and a bunch of guys, I'm sorry, but you guys can't play anymore in this game. We're 28 points ahead. And I remember being how annoyed I was because we wanted to go in there and run up some more points. But he had this spirit of fairness in him that I didn't understand as a young kid. And we could have beat those people 70-0, but he didn't because he was a sportsman. So fair play was important.
I want to shake hands with with one guy that's older than me at this induction. How are you, sir? Preston Love is my name. This is Martha. But I graduated in 60. So you 51?
51, yeah.
So, you know, you just 8 years older than me, that's all.
Those 8 years are a tough one.
Yeah, then.
Don't ever say the golden years are the golden years.
I surely celebrate you.
God bless you.
I celebrate you. God has blessed you to be here.
So the second quarter, our quarterback was driven out of bounds in front of the Ralston bench and over the back of the bench. And he got in a fight, you know, because they had piled him out of bounds, and they kicked him out. And then I had to go with the second string quarterback, the second quarter, all the way through the game. But these guys played a perfect football game that first half. They 28-0, and Ralston was supposed to beat us. And you know what my starting. When we come out of the locker room, before we come out of our locker room and start the game, all I told them is one thing. I said, listen guys, you know what? You see all these lights on over to the east? You are not playing Ralston. You are playing Omaha. That's all I told them. Every businessman put in $5, okay? Got the club started. That was in 1961, or 1960, and and what we did is we sold season tickets differently than anybody else to the parents, because I knew all the farmers had children, and we'd sell them a ticket for 5 games. They could use that ticket anytime they wanted to. They wanted to bring 5 people that game, they could. Punch it all out, buy another ticket, punch it all out, use it when you needed it. So that's the way we got our money started. And then, of course, what ended up happening to this whole booster club, they bought the film, they put a tower up on the football field to take film. They did all that good stuff for us and paid for everything. Not only that, these guys got to come to breakfast. And after every home football game, we went to the Fairview Cafe. They had
Chicken fried steak.
no, hamburgers. They couldn't afford that. Hamburgers and milkshakes and to drink and whatever they wanted for dessert, and that was it. And I'd bus them down there after every game, home game. Bus them down. So it was a very close-knit community for 8 years. 8 years, and the booster people were just beautiful. And that's the way that Wahoo got their good start in football, I think. I hope I had something to do. I organized the golf team, a wrestling team, and when I was there, I also coached their freshman basketball team and, of course, coached varsity football team. So that was it.
For just shy of a century, these 4 seats have belonged to the same family, undoubtedly making them one of the longest standing season ticket holders in Husker football history. Just over 90 years ago, Joyce Korinek's father bought season tickets to see the Huskers.
And this had to have been 1930, right after the Depression, when the telephone company offered seats. Cheap, really cheap, because the Depression it made everybody poor. And he bought these first 4 seats. And he was just delighted, you know, to have these seats and sit there on the 50-yard line.
They still have those 4 original seats, plus a few others.
I will challenge anybody else to better my record. And if you break my record, I will concede.
Joyce graduated from UNL in 1956, just 1 year after Dennis, her husband. Husker Red runs deep in both of their veins, and it's how their love story began. Dennis played both football and baseball for the Huskers in the 1950s.
Coach Fife was the person that offered this football scholarship to me, and I said, absolutely, because my heart has always been at Nebraska, and it is still at Nebraska, and it always will be.
Joyce watched him play from the stands, admiring him.
And by the way, when he graduated as a senior, he had lettered all 4 years. He had a 6-yard per carry average.
Well, pretty close.
That is awesome.
But they didn't meet until much later, when they were in their 40s, both working for Omaha Public Schools.
I suppose just for the lack of anything else to say, he said, "So, do you play golf?" And I said, I lied. I said, "Yes."
We've been together for 45 years.
My mathematics is wrong, but I think he's right.
Although they live in Florida now, Joyce and Dennis fly to Lincoln for every single home football game. But these days, they mostly watch from the Alumni End Club, while their kids and grandkids enjoy their historic seats. And win or lose, the Korineks say they will always bleed Husker Red.
I swear a lot, you know, about this, but you know what?
Yeah.
Oh well, tomorrow's another day and it's going to get better.
When your heart is somewhere, you don't give up on them.
Absolutely, never, never.
At Memorial Stadium, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
Oh my goodness, what a story. Joyce, I can promise you nobody is beating your record. Marlo tells us the couple has grandkids who attend UNL. Joyce says her father would be extremely proud.